information to help kind of better understand the communism in China that you were learning about yesterday. I'm actually going to read this article through with you, um, discuss a couple of things, and then you'll be able to do a video and fill in some notes or actually answer some questions about that video for the last thing you're going to do for me today. So, the title of this article is China's Red Guards. Those are the people that Mao really kind of used and chose to specifically carry out his new sort of plans that he was putting in place. So we're going to read through this article and talk about a couple of things, and then you'll be able to get to the video. All right, here we go. During the Cultural Revolution in China, Mao Zedong mobilized groups of devoted young people who call themselves Red Guards to carry out his new program. Mao sought to enforce communist beliefs and to rid the nation of the so-called Four Olds: old customs, old culture, old habits, and old ideas. This cultural revolution was an obvious bid for a return to relevancy by the founder, Mao, of the People's Republic of China, who had been sidelined for some of his more disastrous policies, such as the Great Leap Forward, which killed tens of millions of Chinese. So you learned about that yesterday and how horrible that was. Many people died of famine, not having enough to eat because of the policies he was putting in place to make steel. If you look at this picture here on the right, this is a propaganda poster from China. Propaganda is really a way that governments use to kind of bend the people to their ideas and ideals. Lots of countries, even today, even our own country, uses propaganda. It may not look like this, but it's still the same concept. You can see Mao up in the left-hand corner, up here, kind of higher than everybody else. You can see the Red Guards here, the red bands on, Mao's little red book, which is his ideas in it, and their kind of fierce stance behind him and his policies. You can see a lot from that picture. The last part here we're going to read is about the impact on China. So the first Red Guards groups were made up of students ranging from as young as elementary school children up to university students. As the Cultural Revolution gained momentum, mostly younger workers and peasants joined the movement as well. Mao, just a side note, Mao himself was a peasant. He was extremely poor growing up, and he definitely believed in that one class. Nobody should have more money than somebody else. Those were absolutely his beliefs. Many people, no doubt, were motivated by a sincere commitment to the doctrines espoused by Mao, although many speculate that it was a rise in violence and contempt for the status quo that motivated their cause. The picture on the right, we're going to talk about in this next paragraph. The first targets of the Red Guards included Buddhist temples, churches, and mosques, which were demolished or converted to other uses. Sacred texts, as well as Confucian writings, were burned, along with religious statues and other artwork. Any object associated with China's pre-revolutionary past was liable to be destroyed. The Red Guards also publicly humiliated teachers, monks, former landowners, and anyone else suspected of being bourgeois or counter-revolutionary. Suspected rightists or capitalists would be paraded through the streets of their town with mocking placards, that's the picture, hung around their necks. In time, the public shaming grew increasingly violent, and thousands of people were killed outright, with more committing suicide as a result of their ordeal. The final death toll is not known. Whatever the number of dead, this kind of social turmoil had a terribly chilling effect on the intellectual and social life of the country. Even worse, to the leadership, it began to slow the economy. So you can see these humiliating acts that are being done to what were considered those upper class people in China. So at this point, you're going to watch a video that's really going to kind of reiterate some of these ideas and give you some more information on Mao and who he was and kind of how he got this like rock star status eventually in China. All right, we'll talk soon. Thanks.